Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for another Amateur Esports League Call of Duty match. This is Division 10, Olympia versus the University Champs. We are playing Hardpoint on Scar. This is map 1 of best of 5. Best of luck to both teams. We'll see who takes this one home and gets up that Amateur Esports League leaderboard. And it's a go. God, I thought there was no game sound for a second there, but that's got to be everyone running Ninja, of course. Looks like Olympian starts off with a few kills there to lock down the hardpoint in their favor. A little bit scrappy at the moment. It's early days, as these hardpoints usually are, but it looks like the Olympian Dragons have still got control, although they've just lost it as Lou gets a double kill to secure the point for the UCDC champs. Oh, the triple was just out of reach, unfortunately, and the UCDC player gets knocked down off the point, and it goes back the way of the Olympian Dragons. That early game mosh pit seems to have subsided a little bit now, as the battle lines have kind of solidified, and it looks like that point is going to mostly go the way of the Olympian Dragons. So they're grinding point after point. UCDC champs trying what they can to take the lead. Unfortunately, not quite enough. See an attempt by the UCDC champs to get set up on this next point. However, impact comes in the flank. Makes a little bit of an impact before going down, getting a few of the champ players. Once again, it's a bit scrappy, but it seems this point is going to get locked down by the Olympian Dragons. Showbiz 7-2, quite the KD to start the match off. Definitely putting in work right now. The AR, look at that, another lovely double kill. And that's going to do just enough damage to stop UCDC champs from getting those points right now. A player has managed to find himself onto the point, but it's far from locked down as the Olympian Dragon player comes in and takes him out of the equation. Some big KDs we're seeing on the Olympian Dragon side. We got 8-2 from Abon, 9-3 from Showbiz. And Impact and Nico not too far behind, really. Everyone making an impact in one way or another. UCDC champs suffering a little bit more, some negative KDs there, but it's early days. Olympian Dragons definitely have a little bit of a lead with 58 points to UCDC champs 23. But nothing that's not recoverable for the UCDC champs. Looks like there's a little bit of push onto blue, maybe to secure the next point, maybe to look down middle. Unfortunately, the player's not there in time to watch the Lou sneak in the back, taking out the Nico player and getting ready to secure that next point. Unfortunately, he goes down. A little bit scuffed AR SMG action there, but it seems to go the way of the Dragons. The UCDC champs doing what they can to get any scraps of time, but the big holds are definitely going the way of the Dragons right now. Got Showbiz at the back, blocking those blue spawns. Oh, he does go down to the Supremo Aladino. And that's going to allow UCDC champs to spawn back blue and secure a few more points on this next hard point here. A little bit of a top blue push coming in from the Olympian Dragons. Does get shot down by Tobes with a lovely double kill. A lovely triple kill. Doesn't quite get the overkills we see in Halo, but that was some good defense and a good fight from the champ there. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite enough, although he may have made enough room for Lou to come in. No, but he doesn't get a second kill, unfortunately. Champ players know that the point's lost, recognize that, rotating over to green for that next point. But already the Dragons are starting to gain some ground, some territories. They try and encroach on green. Impact's top green, and he's going to help the Pints. He does get both the champ players, and he should be securing those green spawns now for his team. Oh, it looks like the kill comes in just in time from the champ player. So champs still get those green spawns, which are more valuable for this point here. Still very scrappy though at the moment. Not really a hold. Looks like the champs have managed to get a hold here, though. Oh, short-lived, unfortunately. Bit of a flank onto the green push. That impact play is staying top green. And even though the champs have the better spawns, they've actually kind of been trapped by them, as the Olympian Dragons won't let them get out of the corridor. Oh, a nice wall jump from Asriel there, and gets the kill onto player. Playing for scraps on the hill. Every point does count in these game modes, but it does look like the Olympian Dragons are run away with it a little bit for 50-point league. Not insurmountable. All the champs need is one good hold to narrow it. And that's what they're trying to get on P1 here. Blue seems to have missed the cuts player and dies to top blue anyway. Another Dragons player going cuts, pinching onto the champs. Right, it's very tradey at the moment. A big double from Supremo there before he goes down to Showbiz. Showbiz 23 and 11 actually. Not quite carrying the team, but definitely the top fragger. On the other side, we got a big showing from Tove, 17 and 15. Supremo Aldine almost going even. 17-17, that's what we were looking for. And Lou also putting a little bit of work here as well. Fortunately, the champs have not had too much of a secure. They're playing for scraps right now, and they may be rewarded for playing these scraps later down the line. They're only 26 points behind. Very doable for the champs to win this. They just need one good hold, and that will put Dragons on the back foot. Of course, Dragons don't know what the back foot means as they keep slaying out these champ players. So it's not enough to dislodge them from the point. One of them sneakily lying prone behind that crate. Supremo Aladino, he knows that he goes in for a kill. And actually, it's the UCDC champs who seem to be getting a hold out at this point. Although, as soon as that's been said, control does seem to switch over to the Olympian Dragons. Huge kill from Lou. Not quite enough to dislodge the whole defense, though, unfortunately. Numbers are coming up the way of the UCDC champs, and they do reclaim the point, though. Looks like the enemy players are regrouping around green. There's still 15 seconds left on this point, so plenty of scraps for champs to get. And actually, they've now just overtaken the Dragons on the leaderboard. So those scraps are definitely starting to accumulate. And they can actually... No, they can't win off this point, so it's 100 points behind, but still. That has got them ahead of the Dragons now. Supremo Aladine trying to get a flank, trying to claim these green spawns away from the Dragons. If he gets a good double here, as he did just there, and he gets a triple. Can he get the overkill? Ah, I was hoping for it, but unfortunately he goes down. But triple kill, very solid. Gives the champs a little bit of room to secure some points here. They're definitely taking the lead here. And whilst the game feels very scrappy, the champs are seeming to get the best of it at the moment. They are going down one after the other, though. That's a lot of deaths on the point. But the champs have done a pretty good job so far to deny the points from P3 here. But it seems like the Olympian Dragons take the point and are actually advancing up, ready for P4 and white wall. Blue is ready, though, waiting in the corner. It's a valid strat, guys. Doesn't know the enemy's top blue. What's this player going to do? He's flanking around, trying to get those blue spawns for his team. He does get a double on the champs, and that's it. That point is going to the Dragons right now. Yep, as they lock down those blue spawns. A relentless assault from the champs, though. The player finally goes down. Could this be a champ comeback on the point if he locks down this blue kill? Unfortunately, he doesn't, though. Still getting points, though, and they're still ahead on the leaderboard. Showbiz still very much ahead on the Olympian Dragons there. Everyone really, though, doing their part. I mean, the kills on both teams are pretty even. Showbiz stealing a few of Nico's kills, really. Perhaps we could give Nico some streamer luck. Oh, well, you know, streamer's curse, you know how it is. That doesn't stop Showbiz from taking out the UCDC player, though. Both teams are really trying to lock down the green spawns at the moment because they know that green spawns here are the advantageous spawns spawning right next to the point. You can see the Olympian Dragons really spawning on the other side of the map. giving the champs 3 points in effect. They do have a Hell Strike though, and they completely wipe out the champs, even doing a bit of a blood sacrifice there. Showbiz on Nico to help out the team. Champs with the better spawns, but with these spawns you can get locked in if the enemy knows what they're doing. Looks like the enemy's actually clearing them out, and unfortunately for the champs, green spawns are lost to them. That doesn't stop the spawners up from trying their best to take the point. Lou with a double kill there, putting some work. There's actually 3 champ players in around the point. Oh god, ladies and gentlemen, this game is so close. Only a few points in it. The champ's just about ahead, but hard to tell who's gonna close out this series with the win, or at least the hard point. It looks like the Dragons are more in a position to lock down this next point. Asriel here, trying to get a little bit of a flank in, could be advantageous. Fortunately, a Dragon player has got that locked down as he's top blue. God, both teams have got to be feeling the pinch right now. Only 40 points left in it for both teams in effect. It can really go either way. Whoever holds this point could win the game. Unfortunately for the champs, it seems the Dragons are the ones who have this point locked down, although they're trying their best to make it as scrappy as possible. It just seems to be frontal assault after frontal assault, any flanks getting locked down by the Dragon players. And already the Dragons are getting set up on next point. I don't know if this is to watch the flank. There's 15 seconds left in this hard point. Champs look like they're in a position to get scraps there, but they do go down. And actually the Dragons are already set up on this next point. The champs have got to move quick if they want to get this point from the clutches of the Dragons. But it just seems no matter which way they run, there's always a Dragon behind them. Oh, and a solid wallbang pistol kill from Abon. God, both going 42 and 22, and 43 and 27 from Showbiz. I mean, KD's like that. It's hard for the champs to compete. 5 seconds left in it for Dragons to close out this series. If Blue doesn't win this, then yep, this point is going to go the way of the Dragons. God, what a close first game though. It could have gone either way. Dragons had a very strong showing at the start there, but the champs actually narrowed and overtook them halfway through. All those scraps already starting to add up at the end. A little bit of a consolation prize. We got this mega triple for Supremo Aladino from the champ squad though. Almost an overkill. I've only had ammo left in the AR, to be honest. Hey guys, and we're back for round 2 of this best of 5 between the University Call of Duty champs and the Olympian Dragons. The Olympian Dragons won their first match on Hardpoint Scar, and now it's time for S&D on Gridlock. Who do you think is going to win, chat? I'm not quite sure. I mean, that first game was quite close between the two teams. Olympian Dragons had a stronger showing, but champs did take them over at one point. It looks like the champs are attacking first. Very strong defense from the Dragons heading on to B, but is that the right point? There's one player top window doing their best to kind of lock it down for his team. A nice little flank coming in from Tobes. Unfortunately, Showbiz indomitable slayed him out. And actually, I got it way round. My bad. It's the champs who are defending, and it's the Dragons who are attacking. And they have got the plant down. Two down for champs, 2 down for Dragons. But the pressure is definitely on the champs to get this one locked in. Champs are 2 up. Olympian Dragons only 1 down. He's playing very far back, but they know where he is now. Fortunately, he goes down. Ready Supremo Aladino's got to lock down his kill within the next 4 seconds. He took a risk and it almost paid off. He made the correct decision, but unfortunately, he just couldn't quite clutch it up at the end there. First round of this S&D will go the way of the Dragons, but as we know from S&Ds, you can make a comeback at any time, even if it's 5-0. Beautiful shots coming in from Obon, wiping out most of the champ team by himself right at the end there. Let's see how it goes. Now it's the time of the champs to attack and for the Dragons to defend. Let's see which way this is going to go. Looks like the champs are going to try and make their attack on the B-bomb, same as the Dragons did last time. It's a big full push from the champs. However, a little bit of a flank potentially coming in for the Dragons. No, flank gets shut down by Lu, and the other two Dragon players are nowhere to be found on the B point. One's trying to make his way around. They're trying to go for a little bit of a pinch, it seems. Yvonne goes down, and they both go down. That's a no-deaths gameplay playthrough, I believe, for the UCDC champs. The 4-push B was definitely the strat for that round. Lu going 3-1. Taking out Impact, neutralizing his ability to impact that match, that round. And the score's equalized at 1-1. That was a strong showing from the champs just there and then. Let's have a look at these scores. We've got E-Bomb with 3-1, Showbiz 1-2. A little few donuts on the Olympian Dragons side there, but it's only round 3 really, so early days. I got a donut on the champs with Tobes there as well, but strong kills from the rest. Early days though into the match. But it looks like the Olympian Dragons are making a push out into force on A. Tobes hearing what I said with a massive double kill to shut down that push. And the champs actually come off the win on that match. Got a nice little final kill from Suprema Aladino, flanking through the side door there. Shuts down any hope the team had of winning that round. It's 2-1 to the champs. Plenty of matches left in this, ladies and gentlemen. We had a weaker showing from the champs on the hard point, but it seems like they're starting out the S&D strong so far. The Olympian Dragons seem to be struggling a little bit, but they're on defense now. Let's see what the champs pull next. The champs, very conservative so far, running down the middle. Not quite sure what point they're going to go down. You got Olympian Dragons showed up on both points, but more on A than B. Unfortunately, one of the champ players does go down on B. And they're about to get flanked by the Dragons, leaving Lu in a 1v3 with the sniper though. Doable if he hits that shot. Unfortunately, didn't quite. Huge pistol kill, but he does get picked up in the back. 3v1 was not an enviable situation. And just like that, the Dragons have equalized with the champs. Nice little final kill there from Showbiz. Showing how Biz gets done on the Dragon side of things. Have a look, the kills are coming up from a stronger showing from the champs now. Still a little donut on the Dragons there of impact. Not quite making much of an impact on the match so far. But it is only round 5 and both teams need at least 4 to win this. So there's plenty of time to get those stats back up. Dragons are on attack, not quite committing to a point just yet. Showbiz carrying the bomb, making a little bit of a play on B, a little bit of a scouting run. It's a little bit scrappy right now. I'm not seeing a clear strategy from the Dragons. Maybe they're trying to get some picks before committing to a push. Champs, likewise, though, not over pushing their cards just yet. Suprema Aladino, moments away from death, just luckily avoids it. It looks like there's a bit of a flank coming on from the champs. Do they know if the bomb carrier is there? It's so taxing. But oh, he does. That's real. He doesn't see the bomb carrier and walks past him. That's very unfortunate. He was right there at the edge of the screen, but right at the edge of the screen, no less. We're not seeing a clear attack pattern from the Dragons. I think they're just playing for picks at the moment. Not a great strategy necessarily on attack, though, where the pressure is on you to plant the bomb. Nico does have the bomb, though, and he's going to push A. He might get that plant off. Is Tobes going to check that in time? He does pick up the bodyguard, but he doesn't see the planter. He knows he's planted A now. It's a 2v1. The time is now on the side of the Dragons, though. But if these guys play together, even if one goes down, the other should pick up the kill. 29 seconds left in it. Suprema Aladino not taking any chances, checking all the corners. Going in for the plant. Tobes picks up the kill, the goat. And that round is going to go the way of the UCDC champs. That was a scrappy round. Dragons definitely trying a more conservative strategy. Didn't quite work out for them, although they did get the bomb down and there was an opportunity to win at the end there. But unfortunately, numbers really just came down onto the side of UCDC champs, and Toes picked up the kill. Back Showers there. Showers is his favorite spot to slay the enemy, it seems. He is an SMG GOAT though, and that is an SMG zone. All the players really from the UCDC champs putting out big stats. Azriel almost going pulse right there. Olympian Dragons, unfortunately, Impact still donating a little bit. Every opportunity to make back the kills, though. It's not over yet. Champs only 1 point ahead. Looks like they're actually making a push onto B here in force. Not many players from the Dragons there right now, although they are trying to respond to whatever callouts are going on. They do go 2 down, though. 3 down even, just 1 player left. Oh, unfortunately, the champ player goes down, but it's a 3v1. And there's every opportunity to plant that bomb. In fact, it's already planted, and there you go. UCDC champs come out on top. That is what we love to see. Some passion for the Uni Students there, boys. Blue going 8 and 4. One of the top fraggers of the squad. Typically, S&D is actually not necessarily a strong suit, but that's not stopping him in his stride this round. Very strong performance from the champs. Impact once again, I'm sorry to say, buddy, but 0 and 5, 6 rounds in right now. Perhaps a change attack is required, but let's see what do the Dragons have planned for this round. Looks like an aggressive push onto A. I do like this aggression. It could work out for them if they pick out 1 or 2 of these players. Already going for the plant. Definitely trying to switch it so time becomes on their side rather than that of the defenders. And just like that, the bomb is planted and they've made them the defenders now. Getting a bit scrappy, but they're 3 players up. And champs are 4 players down as the Olympian Dragons take that round. That's what we needed to see from them before. Sitting out the back was not the strategy for them, but this aggression has worked out. And it's worked out for the UCDC champs as well. I think 3 or 4 pushing the bomb is definitely the strat that we see working these rounds so far. God, I love a Pepsi Max, ladies and gentlemen. 4 rounds in for the UCDC champs, 3 rounds in for the Olympian Dragons. 2 left for champs to steal this series away, or 3 rounds left for Dragons to steal this series out from the champs. Looks like we got a strong 4 push from the champs on A. Not really enough defenders from the Dragons, not even anywhere near the AoE. 2 go down on either side though. Does shut down the push from the champs a little bit. As we were watching the back, not quite aware that the Dragons are actually 2 pushing behind him. Could we get a plant and a cover? That's 1 kill down for the Dragons. Oh, so close to getting that 2nd kill. Oh, unfortunately, Showbiz has got bones of steel as he tanks all those bullets. We could see a covered plant here onto A. Showbiz trying to get the flank. Oh, what a jump! I didn't know you could even do that. Nothing came of it, but could have been a sick play from Showbiz. But he does pick out the champ play. It's a 1v1 now. Bomb is planted on A in the champ's favor. Time is on the side of the champs. The top fragger so far for the champs, loot is up. But I think it's going to come down to a little bit of luck. Who will see who first? Unfortunately for the Dragons, it is on the burden of Showbiz to make the play to get the defuse. Oh, and it comes down to 1v1, but Lou shuts that down. Top fragger for UCDC champs. 1 round left for the champs to win it. Is this the comeback the champs have been looking for? 11 and 5. I don't know what's going on. I have to say, SD is not necessarily Lou's best game mode, but he's making it his best game mode this round. Olympian Dragons 3 rounds behind for the victory. UCDC champs only 1 round away for theirs. Looks like the Dragons are making a big free push onto B. Oh! Impact tried to throw a grenade there, but gets impacted by one instead. little bit of irony there. Looks like the UCDC players are trying to lock this B point down now that they know the Dragons are looking to assault that way. 4 up for the Champs, 3 up for Dragons. It can go either way. But the Champs have got their players out on force on B now. And there's no sign of the Dragons really trying to get a flank round to A. Another player goes down for the Dragons. A 4v2, 4v3. Showbiz trying to make the play, but there you go. That S&D actually goes the way of the UCDC Champs. Their second ever S&D win in Division 10. Tobe 7-4 with the final kill. Very strong showing from these players. Good to see that we've got potentially a close series inbound. It was a close hardpoint and it was a close S&D. But the UCDC Champs seen a run away with it. Impact luckily escaping the donut right at the end, getting a nice little free piece. Hello ladies and gentlemen, we're back with round 3 of this best of 5 series between the Olympian Dragons and the UCDC Champs. It's 1-1 right now of this best of 5. UCDC Champs winning the S&D game, equalizing the score to 1-1 on the best of 5. We're actually back on Scar now, but this time for Overload rather than Hardpoint. Very interested to see how the UCDC Champs perform. Again on Scar. I've got high hopes for both teams and I expect a close game. Okay, we're starting off on what looks to be a 2-push into Motel from the UCDC Champs. Looks like they get some good picks on the Dragons there, but the Dragon player in shop does take out one of the Hotel players. Oh, Supremo Aladino with a quick grab of the Overload. Unfortunately for them, the Olympian Dragons spawners were up to defend their point, and now they did have control of it, but they have just lost it. If they can grab that quick enough, a point is definitely on the board here. So the Champ players are doing a pretty good job to lock down the corridor. And there you go. First point does go towards the UCDC Champs. Again, a little bit scrappy right now. Everyone fighting for the Overload over P2. A little bit of a green push coming, but the Champs are 4 up. And it is their spawn. They're doing a good job to keep the Dragons off their back. But the Overlord is still in their half of the court. They're trying to get it out, but honestly, the Olympian Dragons are starting to swarm them. In fact, the Champ players are starting to get their spawns pushed into Motel, it seems. They've done a good job to slay out the Dragons, and it looks like this Overload is not quite for the Dragons just yet. They are 3 up, and they are pushing Motel. Champ players being very cautious with that Overload, trying to make sure it doesn't fall into the hands of the Dragons. Looks like there's a little bit of a Motel push coming from the way of the Champs, but the Overlord point is stuck up on the Motel railings. A little bit of a push coming in from the Dragons. It's a little bit scrappy right now though. This Overlord point is stuck top in the corner of Motel. Neither team really grabbing it. If anything, it's probably more in the UCDC Champs half. Oh, and there's 3 Olympian Dragon players up. Oh, 2 go down, but unfortunately the Champ players don't even bother to respond to the Overload. Oh, it reset. Okay, well there you go. That's why. And now the pressure's on the Dragons to defend their half of the court. Very strong KDs from both teams, all pretty equal right now. Very scrappy. Only 1 point in the favor of the UCDC Champs. They had a good push, but Showbiz does lock that down with a 2-piece, about to surround and eliminate this final player from UCDC. And that push from the Champs has been knocked down. They are trying again, but there's going to be a little bit of a cuts push from the Dragons there. Unfortunately for them, it doesn't work out. And they're still trying to push this Overlord point up White Fence. If they could get some kills here and lock down that corridor for the flag carrier. Unfortunately, the flag carrier goes down. It's doable, and there you go. UCDC Champs with a second Overload. This is an excellent start from the Champs. That first hardpoint game was a strong start for the Dragons, and they did end up winning that, but it seems it has flipped over a little bit, and now it's the Champs who are the ones with the advantage. In fact, if they could just get this... Oh, the corridor wasn't quite locked down, but it was just enough for Tobes to get the point there. And that is a third overload for the champs. Hey, it's very scrappy at the moment. A lot of players actually just kind of taking it upon themselves to grab the point and run it, trusting their teammates to do some sort of work to clear the corridor. And it seems to be working out for the champs. They're 3 down at the moment, but spawners will more than be there in time to try and like contest this potential B push from the Dragons. Unfortunately, not quite enough though. Dragons do get the point. A little bit of counterplay from the Dragons there. Slaying out the champs and keeping them locked in their spawn. The champs are 4 up though, and they're pulling out of the motel. A little bit of a Team K nade from Impact there, impacting the wrong player, unfortunately. Oh, he was so sneaky on the push there, almost got the point in. And luckily for them, the champs players were on it. And a little bit of push is actually coming in from the champs onto blue there. They did play a little bit forward. I'm not quite sure what the overload player was so far up behind his bodyguards, but it doesn't matter. Are they going to try and end this round with a 4th overload, or are they going to let it time out for side switching? If anything, the ball is now in the Dragons' court as Nico is the flag carrier, so to speak. There's a strong defense from the champs, and there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Half-time, 3-1 in favor of the UCDC champs. Olympian Dragons, every opportunity to win this, but definitely on the back foot. A nice little 2-piece flank from Supremo Aladino. We're well aware of his AR kills at this point. Actually picks up a 3-piece there. Nice little bit of Black Ops 7 wall jumping. He's going to miss it this weekend when the MW4 beta comes out. Very strong showing from the champs though in this overload game. If I'm looking at the kills across the board, if anything, the Dragons might be outslaying the champs a little bit. Although I think for the most part it's actually equal. But we'll have to see how this round goes. Sides are flipped. Both teams kind of just playing for kills at the moment, trying to get a foothold. It looks like the Dragons have picked up the point, and the corridor is actually clear. Oh, but the champs player just shuts down the push there. He does go down. Every opportunity for the Dragons to get that, and they do. Champs couldn't respawn and get there in time. The Dragons only 1 point away now from equalizing with the champs. Very scrappy gameplay. The overlord point is over there on P3 by the plane wreckage. The Dragons have picked up the point, but I'm not seeing necessarily a strong push onto white ball, although they have got a few picks. There's only one player really defending the point from the champs. It seems to be enough, and it gave them enough time for spawners to come up for the champs. Crucial kill from Azriel there. And they shut down the white wall push. And they shut down the secondary push. Lou with the 3-piece could be play of the round there. Azriel taking the overload point out of their side the court. Looks like a bit of a missile strike coming in from the Dragons, killing some of their players almost as much as the champs, although they do pick up a 3-piece on the champs. Not really capitalizing on these kills though and pushing up the bomb surprises me a little bit, to be honest. I mean, you had them 3 dead. There was every opportunity to really get that overlord point through P3 into their side of the court, but that's okay. A bit of a misplay made from Dragons. And now they're back on the defensive as the UCDC champs are the ones to the point. Actually, the champs managed to get the Dragons stuck spawning motel, allowing them to pick up the point. Now it's 4-2 in their favor. Strong start from the Dragons on the hard point, but they seem to be letting the ball drop a little bit now. Oh, look at Tobes. Another double kill there. Impact, though, doing much better than his S&D game, going 20 and 19. We appreciate that. Tobes flanking the entire enemy team. Not picking up a single kill, though, unfortunately. I thought we were going to see a 3-piece. That could have been the play the UCDC champs needed to get the overload there, but it looks like it's going the way of the Dragons now. They're not letting the Dragons capitalize on that win, though, taking 3 of them out of the picture. If anything, there's the opportunity for another point on the board for the champs, and they get it 5-2. God, I mean, there's 2 minutes left in the game, but it's hard to imagine the Dragons making much of a comeback now. 2 minutes left, 3 points down. Not really seeing any kind of aggression from the Dragons anymore. They're just getting traded out by the champs, and if not, a little bit more perhaps. Big kills from the champs, very even gameplay across the board. Lou a little bit ahead. Equal gameplay from the Dragons. Showbiz, the strongest player maybe so far on the Dragon side, actually struggling a little bit KD-wise. Although this is Overload, so if you're picking up the Overload, you're going to be put at a disadvantage using the pistol, just as we'll find out there. There does seem to be a little bit of a push from the champs, a little bit slow and methodic. It does get countered by the Dragons though, unfortunately. And now it's time for the Dragons to try and make their push up on the left flank. Fortunately, Showbiz didn't quite luck out looking the right spot and does go down to Tobes. The Dragons still very capable of getting the point. The champs player actually choosing to try and take the Overlord away from the point. Does seem to work out though. They're 4 up Olympian Dragons. Bit of a right flank push. It looks like the champs are potentially circumending that. Oh, potential for a 7th point was there. And there you go, 7th point goes the way of the UCDC champs. 30 seconds left on the board. There's no doubt that this round is now gonna go the way of the champs. Making this 2-1 in this best of 5 in the UCDC champs' favour. It's going to be another hard point after this. Let's see if this is it for the Olympian Dragons, or if the chance for a comeback is on the cards. But well done for the UCDC champs, winning that game very decisively, really just taking the opportunity to get the overload whenever it presented itself. Not really an equal amount of aggression from the point of the Dragons. Once again, Supremo Aladino, he is farming these best plays. I think we see him in every one. Gets a nice little 2-3 piece, wasn't quite sure actually, but he got a couple of kills there. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back for round 4 of this best of 5 in just a moment, and it's going to be hardpoint. We'll see you then. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's a familiar story, and we're back with round 4 of this best of 5. This is a game between the University Call of Duty Community Champ Squad and the Olympian Dragons. Right now, the Olympian Dragons are on the back foot, losing 2 games to the UCDC champs, but winning that hardpoint at the start. We're back on hardpoint, a mode we know they can already win. Different map though, as we're playing Frequency. Very interested to see who will come off this one. Tobes, the SMG Demon, picking up a double kill. Lou, the other half of the SMG Demon Hood clan, picking up another double on the Olympian Dragons, allowing that first P1 point to get secured. Again, a little bit scrappy. Olympian Dragons eking a few kills out there. Hobes and Lou goes down. Showbiz showing them up. Oh, it's getting scrappy, but it's definitely the UCDC champs who are benefiting most of all from this point. Looks like spawns are going to wave the UCDC champs with the P2 point as well. Although I am seeing a very wise flank from the Olympian Dragons, maybe trying to get those spawns as they know how valuable these back spawns are for this next point here. Let's see if they're going to pull it out of the hat. One champ player goes down. Oh, but the push does get stunted. Spawns have gone the way of the Dragons though. UCDC champs not really quick enough to secure those spawns. What they really needed was a player in the back there. But it looks like the champs have kind of lost that spawn advantage. Despite that, do have the point locked down actually. Getting a healthy 70-point lead on the Dragons. If anything, the Dragons are the ones struggling to get into this point. And they're the ones with the spawns. Only 10 seconds left on it. Curious to see if the champs are going to start rotating. Yes, they have. Tobes already on it. God, I was seeing some good decisions from both teams here. But it seems that the gunplay really is going the way of the champs right now. Who knows what happened in that first hardpoint game. But it seems whatever went on with the champs, they've recovered themselves. And they're not letting the Olympian Dragons have an inch. Nico 9509 donating right now. Ebon 2 and 6. I can't fault the players because the UCDC champs are just not giving them the opportunity to pick up a single kill. Apart from that one, as Azrael goes down, maybe this is the start of the Dragons eking into this point here. That's 3 down for the champs. Nico doing the smart thing, getting those spawns in for the Dragons. And now this point is probably going to go the rest of the way of the Dragons. And now the next point is up. Spawns actually flipped again as the champs are spawning at the back. Azrael already on the point trying to secure it. Not quite sure what the Dragons are doing. There's kind of a frontal assault going on. Looks like there's a flank from Ebon here. He does get a kill, but he gets traded out. Oh, it's just gunfight after gunfight. The Dragons are losing it. I don't know what's going on. I'm not really seeing any sort of strong sense of strategy or coherent push from the Dragons. Having that been said, there is a 2-piece coming in from the back. One gets shuts down by Lou, but they are seeming to be trading out. Unfortunately, trades do go in the favor of the champs. They already have the point secured. 130 points ahead of the Dragons now. Dragons, an opportunity to get a pin tip, but they're just not being allowed. The point has now gone the way of the Dragons, but it doesn't really matter. The next point's already up on P1 for the champs. Curious to see if there's any opportunity for the Dragons to try and make it back. Some more trades on P1, but it's going the way of the champs. Showbiz could kill this player. Not sure what happened there, but Supremo Aladino does an Aladino off the side of P1, and that point has now been secured by the Dragons. This could be the foothold the Dragons need to try and get back into the game. 120 points down. I've seen harder comebacks though, and I do believe in the Dragons' ability to win a hard point. Now it's the turn of the champs, playing a bit cautiously, not seeing too strong a push really. Just kind of feeding the Dragons now. And now it seems the momentum has gone the way of the Dragons. 100 points down still, but definitely fitting in a gap that was insurmountably looking before. Not only do the Olympian Dragons have spawns, but they have points now. This could be the break the Dragons need to try and equalize with the champs. 100 points down, but they're showing a strong hold on the point. Champ player does lock it down. It seems the Dragon spawns have been flipped as well. And now it's the Dragons who are once again counting down the clock to victory. Tobes not really giving the enemy a moment's respite. 20 of 5 from Azrael, by the way, guys. Let's not that go unmissed. 4 KD. He is not letting this game go the way of the Dragons if he can help it. He wants this win for all Uni students in the UK, really. Solid kill from Tobes, trying to prevent points, if anything, on the Dragons. More than 100 points behind still. We're only 8 seconds left on the points. The champs will be wise to play for next, which is what they already have done. Dragons a little bit slower to rotate there. Yvonne getting the scraps at the back. But you can never have too few points in this game mode. God, Tobes not letting the player touch the point there. Although the Dragons have actually slayed out. They've got the spawns and they've got the point. And now it's time for the Dragons to grind some points in their favor. Let's see if they'll be able to keep the hold, which it seems like they are doing so far. Champs feeding the Dragons kill box that they got set up. And I think what we're probably going to see on the next 20 seconds go the way of the Dragons to try and equalize just a little bit. Now they're less than 100 points behind. Still quite far from the champs, but not so far that they can't make it up by next point. Impact already playing for next. Looks like the champs haven't played for next at all, really. One player tries for it, but he goes down. And now it's the champs who are actually playing for scraps. Impact watching down the lane, ready for the back push. And now it's the champ players who are getting shut down by the Dragons. Dragons got a pretty strong hold on the point. Can Lou pick up a kill here? No, he can't. Olympian Dragons getting back into the race. 70 points behind now. Getting a bit scrappy on the point. Champs getting a few extra points and then in turn denying the Dragons their points. We are seeing the Dragons show up a little bit more now, which is good to see from them. However, the champs are only 40 points away from winning it. Looks like there's a missile strike coming in for the Dragons. Unfortunately, doesn't get any kill, friendly or otherwise. 8 seconds left on the point. Are we going to see anyone play for next, though? Everyone playing for scraps, but really the champs should be setting up for next, not the Dragons. And there you go, the Dragons are on the point. Champs playing for scraps when they don't really need them. Now it's the Dragons who are going to benefit. Locking down the point. Few players go down, but there's still 3 Dragons on the point. Can Lou pick up a kill here? No, he can't. A little bit scrappy, but the Dragons are still steadfast in their hold of P1. UCDC champs so far still got spawns for next point. A little bit of movement from the Dragons actually. Trying to get ready for P2. Impact definitely trying to secure spawns. And it looks like the spawns have flipped now. So not only are the Dragons locking down P1, but they're in a position to lock down P2 potentially. Champs playing for scraps again, not really thinking about the next point here. A little bit of a play from Tobes, but does go down. We've got 2 Dragons on the point, 2 champs looking to maybe make a play on it. Impact kind of holding down the back there. And it looks like this point is going the way of the Dragons. They're only 30 points behind now, definitely equalizing with the champs. I think what's happening here, the Dragons are definitely showing a little bit of foresight, and they're actually playing for that next point before it comes up, and that's giving them a distinct advantage now, allowing them to close what was a massive gap against the champs. It was like 130 point lead. Now only about a 30 point lead. Of course, a good gunplay from Lou shuts down a counterplay from the Dragons, and now it's the champs who are getting the points. Only 6 seconds away from victory. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of round 4 and the end of the best of 5. That is a University Call of Duty community victory against the Olympian Dragons. Very strong plays from both teams. The Olympian Dragons started strong, winning that first hard point. Struggled a little bit on the S&D. Could have gone either way though.